This is Kendi K all day. I'm taking 1 pound of ground turkey or ground beef and I'm turning that into a special treat for Taco Tuesday, tamale pie. So let's get started with this tamale pie. Tamale pie is made with either ground turkey or ground beef. In my recipe today, I am using 1 pound of ground turkey and just cook that like you normally would. I also seasoned it with a little bit of Lowry seasoning salt, garlic powder, and onion powder, and black pepper. For seasonings, I'm also adding taco seasoning. That is going to be the main seasoning for this. Taco seasoning has cumin in it, lots of other things. So this is just my regular pantry taco seasoning, Old El Paso brand, that I'm adding quite a bit of the powdered seasoning to it. You really want a nice, strong, bold flavor. And I'll also be adding some tomato sauce to it, half a can of tomato sauce. So that's probably about, I don't know, about a fourth of a cup of an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce, a little small can of tomato sauce. You'll notice that I also added some frozen onion, celery, and carrots. And it was just some frozen veggies that I had in the freezer, and just went ahead and did that the easy way because I was out of frozen bell pepper. So if I had some frozen bell pepper, I would have added that as well. And you probably need about a good 4 tablespoons of the taco seasoning. Yeah, you're gonna need a lot. So tamale pie is a very old recipe for me, and y'all, I probably have not cooked tamale pie in probably, I don't know, 10 years or more. And I was just sitting here thinking about what can I do for Taco Tuesday to give myself something different. And tamale pie came into my mind. I made tamale pie as a child in 4-H, and we were trying to earn a badge or something. I remember it so vividly because we had 4-H over to one of my cousin's house, one of their houses. And it was a cooking class, and we made tamale pie, and it was delicious. And yeah, it's a one pot meal because it's a casserole, except for browning the meat. And yeah, tamale pie. So as you can see, I have added the tomato sauce, and I also added a little bit of water. And then again, you're going to end up adding about 4 tablespoons. It should be enough of the taco seasoning. So it is more taco seasoning than you would normally use to make taco meat. It is more than that. So try 4 tablespoons. It should be a nice, bold flavor. You wouldn't want to eat a whole fork full of it because the flavor palette is going to be a little bit too bold for that. But I also am cutting that with tomato sauce just to loosen it up a little bit, and a little bit of water. It won't be a loose mixture. Needs to be more of almost like a sloppy Joe texture, I would say. And I'm adding some steamed corn. And if you don't have frozen corn, I always use frozen corn because it doesn't have the sodium that canned vegetables have. So most of the vegetables that I use, other than tomatoes, which are always in the can, I always buy my vegetables frozen. So I cooked 1 pack of this steamed corn. I pre-cooked it in the microwave so that it would already be hot when I added it to my ground turkey mixture that I've now added the taco seasoning to. And we're almost there, y'all. All that's left now is for me to go ahead and fix that cornbread that will be the topping, the crust on this. And we're going to be having some tamale pie in just a second. I am fixing this in a 9 by 13 casserole dish, and so I'm just going to fix one package of Jiffy cornbread mix to go on top of this meat mixture, and I am using ground turkey to make this tamale pie. It's a 1 pound roll of ground turkey, so it's a great meal to make it stretch if you're cooking for a family, and in my case, I'm cooking for just one. So just 1 box of Jiffy Corn muffin mix, and all you'll need is 1 egg and some milk for that. And yeah, I started making tamale pie, and I bet you y'all, I was probably 9, 10 years old maybe when we first made tamale pie, and so this is a childhood recipe for sure. So the first thing you want to do, if you haven't already, is go ahead and preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Get a good hot oven for your cornbread, and that will ensure that it has a good crown on it. That means it rises and it's not a flat cornbread. You want a good crown on your cornbread. I also like to let my milk and my egg come to room temperature. That's just a good baking tip, is to let everything be at a good room temperature versus ice cold. It will combine better, and it's supposed to cook better as well. That too will help with your cornbread rising. I did not measure the milk here. I just got a good batter. I can measure, but thank y'all for watching thus far. I hope that you enjoy tamale pie, and I hope if you have never had tamale pie that you will think about cooking it. There are many versions of this, but this is the version that I remember, and I hope my memory isn't escaping me, because I do know for sure it's been at least 10 years since I made tamale pie. But the last time I made it, it was enjoyed by all. I made a huge casserole, like a lasagna pan full of it, and everyone ate it. They enjoyed it. So I'm going for it again. Yeah, so just mixing that egg and milk, and then you need to let your cornbread batter sit for just a few minutes and let it rise to ensure you have a good crown on your cornbread. So next, I've just sprayed my 9 by 13 inch pan with some nonstick cooking spray, and I'm just spooning in my ground turkey mixture. You can also substitute ground beef for the ground turkey in this tamale pie recipe. I use frozen corn, but you can use 1 can of not diced, 1 can of drained whole kernel sweet corn, not cream style corn. You need whole kernel corn. You can use a can, but just make sure you drain the water off of it. Just spooning that mixture in and smoothing it off before I add the cornbread mixture on top. And then it's time for your cornbread batter. And just kind of spoon that in, and then just spread it all around. It's okay, but try to get some cornbread batter over the top of everything so that you create a nice brown topping for your tamale pie. I'm making sure that I go right into the corners and make sure that everything gets covered up, and just using my spatula if needed to make sure we get a good covering over all of the meat mixture. And then into the oven, the casserole goes. Your tamale pie will be ready as soon as the cornbread is good and done. That's about 17 to 20 minutes. And look at there, our tamale pie is ready. A nice golden brown crust on our cornbread. I'm going in now with just some butter. I love cornbread with butter, y'all. That's why I hardly ever make cornbread. But since I was making this tamale pie, baby, this is going to be some good cornbread because I'm going to put some butter on her. Yes, yes. And so cooked it for about 20 minutes until a knife stuck in the center comes out clean with no crumbs or no liquid on it. Then you know your cornbread is done through and through. And y'all, you want to let this sit for about 15 minutes or so, just so that it comes together and your mixture will stick to the cornbread and all of that. Yeah, let it rest for about 15 minutes before serving. And just cutting it with a spatula. Y'all, thanks for rocking with me as I made tamale pie, one of my childhood favorites. Haven't made it in about 10 years, but it tasted just like I remember. Y'all enjoy this tamale pie, and if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give me a like button. Do me one better. Subscribe to your girl. This is Kendi K all day. Goodbye for now.